Hi everyone, welcome to Gen X Muse. I'm Chris McGovern, the Gen X Muse. I can't do the hand heart thing too good. Right now, at least. I don't know. Somebody's gotta. There it is. Okay, I got it. Anyway, hi! So anyway, just so you know, this is going to be a short video. This is just going to be me showing you a couple of copies of Pet Sounds that I have since Pet Sounds was released on this date in 1966. 60th anniversary. Guess what? 10 days later, Chris McGovern was born. So, hey, we both have a 60th anniversary. Go figure. 60 years old. Oh my god. I don't like it. I don't like it. So anyway, Pet Sounds, the album by the Beach Boys. We're not going to be going over the history of the recording or anything right now. This is just me kind of going off on it for a little bit just to kind of just show you what I have here for a second. There's several like things coming out. There's like a couple of audiophile things coming out, vinyl file. I believe they have like like a mono and a stereo, and there's going to be a DSS one step coming out too. So audiophiles are going to be salivating, I'm sure, over at least one or two of those. I don't have those, and I'm not going to. I'm probably not going to pursue them at this time. But in any event, this copy of Pet Sounds, or these copies of Pet Sounds rather, are special to me because I was able to get my hands on them, and I'm very happy. My original Pet Sounds experience was I got the cassette first. Because we were just buying cassettes, and I was like, ooh, Pet Sounds on cassette. Wonderful. I've never heard it, I've never heard it all the way through. We've had records that have had things from Pet Sounds on it, like compilations and whatnot. This is the first time we've ever like had an opportunity to hear everything. I loved the album so much. Oh my god, I was like, I know what everybody's talking about now. So yeah, just getting that cassette was nice. The cassette, by the way, just the mono version of the album, and I don't know what the master was for it or anything. It's just the cassette. Um, and then we got this really awesome CD that came out. The first ever compact disc of Pet Sounds came out in 1990. And it was the album that sounded really good, and it had, Trombone Dixie, and it had like a rehearsal of Don't Talk, Put Your Head on My Shoulder, where you got to hear background vocals for it, which they didn't end up using. And I think Hang On to Your Ego was on that too. Yeah, that might have been the first time that was released on something. And so that was so that was nice. That was a nice, CD release with bonus tracks of Pet Sounds. So that was one of my favorite discs to listen to for quite a while. I don't have it anymore, but seriously, like surprisingly, Giggins didn't have that. He had everything else, and he didn't have that 1990 disc. Well, I mean, who am I to complain? I don't have it either right now. Well, anyway, I did see he had this, though. He has the original mono 19... Oh, wait, no, that is not the one. I'm sorry, guys. I picked up the wrong copy. It's this one right here. This is the 1966 mono pressing of Pet Sounds. The very first, the OG release on vinyl. Now, a lot of people don't like this one. I'm not sure why. Maybe because they think it's just inferior because it doesn't have that big sound to it or something. I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to tell because my equipment is not the greatest, and I'm not listening to it on the finest equipment for listening. In any event, though, this I love having this. I love that we have it. I love that we can always pull it out, especially because it's in good condition. It's a very good plus, maybe if not a near mint. You look at it, the record, it looks very pristine almost. But yeah, this is the original from 1966. I even marked it so that people would see that. Um, and I also happen to have the one that I was holding by mistake. This one, the 50th anniversary stereo copy. This one's really nice too. Um, to be honest, the album kind of sounds like it was meant to also be in stereo. It's almost like, Brian Wilson, like, if he could make something a stereo record, he would. But because he was partially deaf, because dickhead dad hit him in the fucking ear. I'm sorry, Mr. Well, they're not here, but the fact of the matter is, their father was not a nice guy, alright? I've dealt with DV, so I know a thing or two about it. Anyway, this is a really nice version of the album too. You could, I feel like, even if you're not an audiophile, I mean, who was an audiophile back then? Nobody had audiophile equipment or anything. I mean, you just had regular record players. And here's one more copy. This is another stereo copy, but this is from 1999. I think this might have been the first stereo vinyl. This was never on stereo, to be clear, by the way. It was never on in stereo in the 60s or 70s or 80s. They've never done it in stereo during the original run of the Beach Boys. They've only ever had this in either mono or duophonic, which is just fake stereo. Giggins has that copy too. He has the duophonic. This is the first stereo version, and this is pretty decent too. I have not listened to this in a while, though. I guess I should put it on again. But I played that's the 2016 stereo, and I played my original mono this afternoon, and I figured I would catch up on it just so that I could say, it was great to listen to those today. I still love the album. I was listening to John Denver's Greatest Hits, too, sandwiched in between the two Pet Sounds records. And I'm going to be doing a solo discussion on John Denver's Greatest Hits. So that was, absolutely necessary to put on, too. I love that record. But in any event, this is Pet Sounds we're talking about, and I think it's beautiful, A lot of people like to shit on it because it's one of those things that people say it's overrated, and I feel like the people that are saying it's overrated somehow they're not fans of the Beach Boys, perhaps, and it's very possible it's mostly pushback that comes from people that are that might not be into the Beach Boys because it's something that was very, influential on the Beatles. So I don't know. I don't know where the hate comes from on Pet Sounds. It's kind of unfortunate. Anyway, I love it. I love it for my own sake. I'm not. There is no way that I was influenced to like this because I've heard endless praise for the album. I remove that from my head and I'm like, judge for thyself, so, yeah, so listening to it on, just listening to it on that shitty cassette, I was like, this is excellent, I love this. It's beautiful. There were things that were done for Pet Sounds that are not quite fully fleshed out. Like in my childhood was the original version of "You Still Believe in Me," the track 2 on this album. The track 2s are so important in records. I gotta say, it goes for a lot of albums. This is no exception because this is a beautiful song, and yeah, that's one of those ones that is really awesome, but that was originally going to be something else entirely, and they had like a bicycle horn on it. That's why that bicycle horn is kind of stuck on there. They've never been able to remove that. and it's kind of forever on the record, like that, like it just kind of, it just kind of sounds weird, but we just kind of embrace it and accept it as that it's just part of the record. It's kind of like a birthmark, it's just there. You can't really do anything about it except it's there. It's like this. It's like that birthmark on my boob right over there. I've had that forever. I've had that since I was a kid, really. Um, I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, so basically, yeah, there's a lot of things that were on Pet Sounds that were not used, and it was almost like a Smile kind of situation, where there were things that were ideas that ended up getting discarded, but um, and I think similar things were happening behind the scenes too. There were people doubting things, which is something that Brian Wilson has never been able to like live down. It's like there's always going to be something, but um, you know, Pet Sounds is so poignant for me because it's also like this is the last original Beach Boys album that feels like it comes from the 1960s era. And I'm not saying like you shouldn't count the things that came after that but that's like the beginning of something different because you'll notice the sound production way different. Everything is very dry when you get to Smiley Smile, Wild Honey, Friends, 2020. Just it's not like the stuff that was being recorded with the Wrecking Crew and whatnot. Like it just sounds like the six. It's almost like the golden era of the '60s came to a close with Pet Sounds. And I mean like the golden era for the Beach Boys. So that was kind of like that marked a very big beginning and a very big end, like almost at the same time. Um, which is something not everybody really noticed or talked about as something that's recognizable as an end to something, but it definitely is the end of that era. It's the end of the era where the Beach Boys were just kind of being the Beach Boys, but it was certainly something very big and something very unique and out of pocket, I guess, maybe. When I talk about the album for my actual show where we talk about Pet Sounds, I'm going to try to come back to that point, but for me this is a special record and I'm very happy that we have it, and I'm glad that we are now seeing its 60th year in existence. So happy birthday and happy anniversary to you, Pet Sounds. And so basically, while we're here, I'm going to also announce a few things. This channel is going to have the podcast going forward. I'm not sure what we do about the video of the podcast. I want to record a video of me doing the podcast and try to do that in a way that it makes sense so that it's like because other people do it and I'm like, can I do that too? We're going to try. Because podcasts and YouTube, they're both very big. We're going to try to do both. And maybe we're going to do videos like this that are just standalone videos too, because I kind of want to do that, but the podcast is still going to be the podcast. I was thinking about jumping off of Spotify, but maybe we'll stay on it for a bit longer, and this way we have an audio component that we can just put on Spotify. Because I like doing the podcast, I really do, but I feel like, I need to try to work on things on this end too, because hey, I need to be me, I need to show me off too sometimes. So anyway, thank you, and thank you so much for hanging in there, and thank you for supporting this channel. Please, please, please check out Patreon when it's ready to. By the way, yeah, that's the other thing. Patreon is going to have special things on it that are going to be exclusive. We might do some exclusive episodes for Patreon only. And they won't be on this channel. They'll be, and if they are on this channel, they're probably going to be edited or something. But yeah, there's going to be the videos and the podcast on YouTube. So anyway, just letting you know. That's what's happening. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for supporting the channel, supporting me, and checking this out. And I love you all, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye! Thank you! Thank you so much!